everybody. We are back for a late afternoon stream doing more world building. I've pivoted to doing an overland map, and which involves me copying a map of the city of the Forgotten Realms, or in the Forgotten Realms, Waterdeep. So I found this kind of basic line drawing, probably an old map of Waterdeep, and I brought it into Procreate, and I did some stretching of it because I was trying to figure out how to make a horizontal or landscape image of Waterdeep, since it sits this way. So this is the Sword Coast along here, and then I can't remember, this is the harbor, Waterdeep harbor or whatever down here. And I was like, if I did it in sections, I don't think I could get 4 sections, which you're limited to 4 overland maps, and I wouldn't have been able to fit the entire city in those 4 maps, which would have made it a lot larger in detail. And then I was like, duh, you can run it horizontally if you turn it on its side. So I kind of distorted it a little bit, so the upper part is farther away than the lower part, so I had to stretch the lower corners out. So in Procreate here, you can transform image. So uniform means if you grab a corner and you drag out or in, it keeps everything at that same scale or ratio, but you can scale it up or down. Distort means you can pretty much grab a corner and pull it out, and it doesn't keep the same ratio. And warp is exactly what it states, that you can warp something, so you can really change the surface plane visually with warp. And I can't remember, freeform means you can grab one side or the other and it'll change that either on the horizontal or the vertical, and if you grab a corner you can do both at the same time. Uniform means it just, it keeps the same ratio. Anyway, so I distorted it and I just pulled out the lower corners and kind of made it so that you're looking, if it's a flat plane, you're kind of looking at it maybe 45, I don't know, I didn't try to do the math, but I eyeballed it. So now that it fits, and this is the scale or the ratio for the size, but it's actually larger, but the same ratio. So I might have to, I think this might be doubled or tripled the size that the in-game size can be. So I might have to shrink it down, but I'm trying to get it so that I can copy this mask. Whoops, reset that. copy this map because when I blew up the image it kind of pixelated it, so I needed the size of the whole image to be bigger so I can get more detailed without the map being washed out. So now I'm just trying to fill in these little sections of the map. So the black is like, the black line is like, I think the walls around Waterdeep. This side has the mountain. I can't remember what it's called. I'll have to look it up. But you can see there's the red is kind of roads within Waterdeep and maybe some important spots. As you can see, when I blew it up, it kind of got pixelated and a little washed out, so I didn't want to go too big. I wasn't too sure of the size of this actual image that I borrowed, but yeah, this way works nicer, because then if I have certain spots on the map that you can go overland with the whatever character you use. I don't know if it'll be a horse or what. Maybe just a figurine. Maybe they'll be, I don't know what it's capable of, but maybe they'll be on foot travel, or maybe there's horse and carriage I can create, because Waterdeep's pretty big, and to travel across it by foot would probably take some time. But I'm still trying to familiarize myself with the city and the lore and all that, because I'm actually more familiar with Baldur's Gate, since I played a lot of the games. Yeah, mostly the games, the computer games and such. So I was really happy when I figured this out, because then that means I still have 3 overland maps that are possible, and maybe I would do some stuff outside of Waterdeep. You can always travel to a whole nother city, like yeah, travel to Baldur's Gate. I don't know how big, how much content the unlimited adventure app can hold, so we'll find out. But right now, yeah, I'm just trying to copy this map. Why can't I hear myself? As best I can, and then I can add detail as I go. But I have a few different layers so far. There's the water, so this is supposed to be water out here, the Sword Coast there. That is one layer. The walls surrounding. So if I turn this off, you can see. If I turn off the actual map layer. So these are all other layers that I've already filled in, painted. So you can see the different sections or blocks, or I don't know if they're city blocks or what, are starting to take shape. And then the white areas right now are the various roads or streets or alleys in Waterdeep. And I don't know, depending on the size, the scale, when I import these, into, so it's supposed to be a 330 wide by 120 high pixel format, and right now I think I tripled it, so it's 660 wide by, what is it, 360 pixels. So it'll have to get shrunk down, and when I shrink it down I want to see how it looks, because I'll have to adjust all that, because I'm sure some of this, like these really thin lines, will probably get washed out and I'll have to redo it. But this was the only way I could figure out how to reproduce this map, because if I tried to import this map into a 330 by 120 pixel rectangle, I wouldn't make out any of this stuff. So if I can just block in, you know, the major stuff and then shrink it as I import it, hopefully I can rebuild overland view of Waterdeep City, which is where I kind of want to set the campaign. Not kind of, but I probably will set the game campaign in. So I am just, yeah, I'm cheating and just doing an overlay of an existing map, because I'm not trying to recreate the wheel. The wheel has already been built. We're just, I don't know if you could say improving upon the wheel, but we are making that wheel our own. And it's not like this is going to be sold or anything, so I don't even know if anybody will play it. It'd be nice to see, to get something playable and have some people test it and just, you know, have fun. You pretty much have to have the Unlimited Adventures program app to be able to play it, because I think I would have to send you a zip file or something of the game, and then you would open it up in your version of the Unlimited Adventures to be able to play it. So we'll see, but you know, I want to do as much original art that I can create, or see what I can come up with. So, and that's pretty much, if I couldn't do the art, I don't know if I would even bother with trying to build something. So all the red or pink will be roads, and so in these areas that I'm filling in, there's buildings in these, so I'm just trying to fill out the areas first before I try to make it look like any kind of buildings, because I would wait to do all that extra detail when I finally shrink it down, because you might not even, at 330 by 120 pixels, you might not even, it might not even be worth trying to detail anything out. Yeah, because this is all 8-bit, so I'm limited to like 256 colors, which, you know, that was kind of the thing at that time, you know, in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. And then games started to become more sophisticated and faster, more colors. I'm trying to figure out what this is in here. There's some gray black stuff inside this one. Oh, I know what this is. So this is a park. This section here is a park within this northern section of Waterdeep. So that should almost be green. But yeah, see, all this out here is, I have the green out there, so that would have to go on that same layer. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to, but I just kind of want to keep things organized and separated by the type of whatever, if it's earth or grass or rock or road, some kind of defining characteristic. So what would be even cooler is if I could do all the art, change all the art in the game, from like the backdrops and the walls, and you know, but that stuff you can't change. I could create, I think I can create images for characters and different monsters, so I can tweak the monsters or change some of the monsters. I'm not sure about the stats. Be able to change the stats of some monsters, so that would be cool. Then I can make other monsters from like that they don't have in this game. So it's all, I think this is all based on 2nd edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons rules. So if anything that's set in modern or contemporary Forgotten Realms timeline would have to be those rules. And a lot of the newer stuff is the 5th edition rule set. You can't really change the rules, so I would have to make it a 2nd edition campaign in the modern times. I don't know why these roads are all weird looking. And so if any of you or anybody, if anybody has been watching the earlier streams, you saw that I was working on the big kind of museum. I don't know if it was a museum, because I don't know how much art is going on in Waterdeep or the Forgotten Realms, but there is some. And I wanted to make a museum setting. Well, I made a 3x3 section area, which is the entire ground floor level of the museum. So I basically went back to the drawing board and changed it to a 2x2, so because you're limited to 36 dungeons, and the largest you can do is an 18x18 square, and I didn't want to use up all my dungeon space. And I thought, this building is pretty big. That's a lot of area to cover running around, and I don't even know what any of the story is going to be like. I'm just kind of intuitively going at this. So I know if it's going to be set in Waterdeep, I'm going to need the city. So, and this museum is going to be a location within the city, but then there'll be other locations I want you to be able to access for certain missions or whatever. And I know there's an area called Undermountain, which is a part of Waterdeep. There's the sewers. So I mean, I could have that as another overland map. I can have the sewers as a third map. And then I would have one more overland map. So, but we'll see. I have ideas. I haven't been jotting anything down as far as like a main arc for a story, but I have some ideas stewing in my head. I just have to jot stuff down and then just kind of start fleshing things out. But I figured doing the map would help because I need to familiarize myself a little bit more with the setting that the adventure is going to be in. So, and the Forgotten Realms wiki pages are going to be like my major resource for that, since I don't have any physical resources. So it'll all be just the digital, unless I can find some stuff online. I know there are archives, public archives, that I could probably look up copies of like the PDFs of the physical material and go through some of that stuff. So yeah, and it's starting to take shape. We'll see once I shrink it down how much of this we'll have to we'll lose and have to figure out. So let me go into here. Let's not do this right yet. Okay, so I don't think you guys can see this yet. Yeah. I need to select design. Really don't want to have to start all over, but that's, that's how I learn is by just repetitively using whatever it is I'm trying to learn. And yeah, so we'll just open up this. Sorry guys, I forgot to greet y'all. I'll do that now because I don't know. I'm not. Oh shoot! Yeah, that's right. See if I can get my chat going. Properties for chat. No, cancel. For some reason, show windows with empty names. I need to get my chat back up, but I don't know where it went. That's right, I might have to get the chat window back open, that's why. Spotlight item. Default. if I would be able to bring up chat. Here we go. Studio chat. There we go. Okay. Well, it's up, but I don't know. Let me see. There we go. That's all I needed to do. Alright, now we just need to connect the game window again. App? No. Game window. DOSBox. So that's where we're at. Yeah, guys, if anybody's there and you wanting to use chat or say something to me, you might not be able to see it right away, but I can see your anything, question, comments, or complaints, concerns on my monitor. But anyways, we're gonna get back to drawing on that. But that's so I think I did some more. I finished off what I was doing on the last stream. So now all 9 sections of the main building, museum building, the first floor, or ground level, are all connected, so you can walk through it all. It just asks you when you get to the edges, it just asks you if you want to continue in that direction, whatever direction that it is. And I don't know if I'm gonna put any music on, because depending on how long the stream goes, I think once it starts hitting the 3-hour mark with music and all the rest of the stuff, the stream starts to get choppy, and then I have to reset and start a new stream, which probably wouldn't be too bad, but and I'm not sure if I want to hear myself talk the whole time. It's easier if somebody has something to ask, but I'm not very good at just going on and on sometimes. Some days I can, other days it's like I don't want to say a word. I don't have anything to say. It's kind of how I was when I was younger. It's like if I didn't have anything to say, I didn't talk, which probably weirded people out. It's like, why doesn't this dude say anything? I mean, if you ask me a question, sure, I'd certainly, say something or whatever. But if you didn't, it's like, why am I even saying anything? But now that I'm older and I don't care anymore, I do whatever I want to do within reason, within the law. So now, I guess we're going down the west side of the city. I don't know what any of this stuff is here. Once I just kind of get most of this blocked in, I will bring up a better reference. just kind of adjust all this stuff based on that more detailed reference. And again, it's like this is 660 by 360 pixels. You know, I have to remember this is going to be cut in 2/3. So 2/3 of the pixels are going to be gone. So this will be a lot smaller. And I'm not sure how much you'll be able to make out at that scale, but it should be in something. And these are little islands. I don't know if they'll be relevant to what I'm doing or the game. I might have to simplify a lot of these shapes too. Like if there's too much detail or some things are too small, I might just have to fill it in and add that to like larger sections. Like this right here, I don't know what this is. I'm assuming maybe the wall around Waterdeep cuts in this way, or no. So this is like an arena, this thing here. Or like a coliseum or something, like a, I don't want to say gladiatorial. I think it's like an event space. And again, all the roads leading everywhere. So it's going to take some time to build all these assets. Just kind of do it. I say in my spare time, but it seems like I'm using a lot of my time that I could be doing other stuff to do this. Like I could be painting. I have an event here, not here in Des Moines, but in Harlan, Iowa, which is out west on the western side, central side of Iowa. There's an art fair I usually do every November, and I will be at that event. I guess I am one of the featured artists again. And I should be getting ready for that. That is November, the first Saturday in November. And it's already October 3rd, so. And also I'm waiting on the children's book. The publisher and author, I guess the author has to reduce again the amount of words that are in the book because it is super text heavy, and yeah, it takes up a lot of real estate, if I may, within the pages. So the publisher really wanted the author to cut back on the amount of words, since it is supposed to be a kid's book, but the age range could vary. It's not I think its age group would be, 2 to 3 to like 9 or 10. So, which is a a pretty big kind of age range for, kids book. This isn't like, you know, your Tammy or Kathy's first book, like reader. It's kind of for a little older folks, but you know, I mean, if an adult was reading the book to a smaller child, why not? I don't know what all these black lines that are going through here. I'm just going to cover those up. This looks like a dotted black line for some reason. I'm sure it stands for or represents something that I'm not currently aware of. But since I can turn layers on and off, I can adjust all this stuff. But yeah, we'll just go over that. So if you, it's hard to tell, but there's two different kind of tannish, brownish colors. This one I'm putting on is slightly darker than the one that I was going right up next to. Those might need to get adjusted because the lighter one was supposed to represent a change in elevation. They're supposed to be like cliff edges or walls. I think that's like this. Something is here with this red dot. I know there's a castle. Castle Waterdeep is right here. I don't know what all this was, but I'm just kind of going, filling in as I go, and then we'll figure out all that out later on. I don't know if the mic quality is any better. Anytime I go back and listen to the streams, it just still seems like it's not loud enough. But I don't want this peaking if it does get loud. So. And plus right now I'm kind of listening to the stream on my monitor, but I have the volume down so I could barely hear myself. So I'm pretty excited to work on this pixel art too. Like once I start doing characters, and if I can do some monster characters, that would be really cool, because I haven't done much pixel art stuff, which might be a lot harder to do than being able to work at a scale that gives you a lot of detail. And I've been watching some people on Twitch who do pixel art to kind of get an idea of what they do and how they do it. But you know, I just got to get in there and jump in the pool and get wet. I think this is all one piece. I don't see any red there. That's just like black. But yeah, it'd be cool to have that challenge of, you know, trying to figure out how to represent something with very little, because what you do show needs to be like the most important information to represent that thing. Yeah, a lot of this stuff I am not understanding what's going on here. So this is like Mount Waterdeep. I guess here we go. So since it was horizontal to begin with, I guess there's some print, but then there's some print that's like this way. But all this is like, you know, a mountain range on this kind of, you know, point here that makes a little peninsula. And then there's under mountain, the area under this here. Other stuff too that I'm slowly learning as I go. Looks like there's some more stuff here, some kind of building here. I'm not sure if any of these are important, but I will, since they're red, I will keep them in there just in case they are actually something important. If not, they'll just get erased. But major buildings and stuff, I will hopefully try to keep in. Definitely the roads, if I can do the roads. Yeah, this looks like some kind of castle, but I'm not sure what castle. As you can see, it's just pixels, pixels. Not sure if this, yeah, the black stuff, I'll have to look at the actual map that I'm, better detail of the map that I'm using here. And so right now I'm trying to keep these, if you're wondering, I'm just trying to keep these areas just a single flat color right now, but you know, to add more detail I could probably start to modulate the colors I'm using to make it less flat, or other colors to contrast or complement the different areas to make it stand out or not stand out. Yeah, I think some of this stuff is like text inside here. It just got blown out because of the scaling. Yeah, because I think all these are like buildings. They're like right next to the mountain. So I guess there are like 9 huge statues that at one time came to life and rampaged through Waterdeep. So, and then when they stopped, they ended up in certain areas of the city and are now just kind of like fixtures or features in the landscape. And that might be cool to do some of the smaller art, showcasing some of that, depending on, you know, what, if it's necessary or central to the narrative. This is kind of how I paint with paints. I use one brush size and it do everything. I have a hard time switching between different brushes, but I need to kind of get over that and not worry about, you know, because I'm always worried about the cleanup and stuff like that. And when you're making art, you can't be worried about that type of stuff, because you need to have the freedom to create. But yeah, with digital, I guess, you know, going back and forth through menus to change brushes doesn't seem as hard, and I don't have to clean up anything. But I just don't like going back and forth between, you know, unless there was like a dock where it had, like, you know, 3 to 5 of your most used brushes that you're using at that time. And I mean, that's basically what this is, these drop downs. And it just, the recent shows the most recent ones I'm using, so I just tap on that. But that means it has to do the drop down, where if it was just like on this side menu bar right here, a few like on a side menu bar that, you know, I could just tap on. Yeah, but, you know, who knows? It's all quality of life stuff. Now this is going to be very interesting to see how much detail I can actually add in as far as like buildings, how to represent those buildings with the few pixels that I get, because it could be pretty drastic, like when I scale this down. Now, if it were 24-bit, that might have been a lot easier. Or make more sense. But this is an 8-bit game. I think I don't know what you call it, the bootleg, not really a bootleg because they're not selling it, but it's like a clone, I guess you could say, a clone of this, but they added more QOL stuff, and maybe better graphic system. I think that one might be 24, maybe more, 24-bit. It's online. It's under Dungeon Craft. I guess you go to Dungeon Craft, Google Dungeon Craft, you'll find it. I don't know. I got this when I bought the Gold Box series, and I'm, you know, just maybe one day, you know, once I kind of get something made with this, maybe I'll check that out. And then I'll kick myself and be like, why didn't you just make it on that? But I can also, what do they call it, port this or redo it. But yeah, I'd have to get familiar with Dungeon Craft. But it looks pretty similar. Except the graphics, I think, are definitely better. Man, if you could do this with this super high end. Man, I don't even know what this shape is. We'll just go with the rando shape. These are smaller blocks, narrower streets. I can't even say that word. Narrower. I think there's some buildings going on here. This is, what is this, like a marketplace? These are streets. I think this is like a marketplace. Oh man, I don't know why I'm already just all of a sudden just tired. So I did make the wife and I a very late breakfast. It was pretty much late lunch at almost 2 o'clock, but it was definitely breakfast beast. But we will, it's 5:38 right now. We have pho that we got yesterday from a local place, and we are going to be doing that for late lunch, probably early dinner, and then an actual late dinner. But I do work tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. so I have to get up. I usually have to get up around 5:30, maybe a little bit before 5:30, to get things all together, unless I get it all together the night before, which would be ideal, but I don't always do. Then I would save myself time in the morning and wouldn't have to rush around trying to figure out what I need to get together for the day. But tomorrow's a 8-hour shift, 7 to 3, and I'm just gonna cut that out of there. Yeah, a lot of this little stuff might just get cut out. So I need some kind of sense of scale, because I'm not sure how big one of these blocks or areas would be in real life. I'm sure there's some kind of key or legend for this map that I'm borrowing. I'm gonna say these are broken down in this section. So this is like a 1 block, 2 blocks, and 3 blocks. Oops. Let's just add this in just in case. Like those could just be like buildings, important buildings. But we won't know yet, since we are just filling this in. There's Castle Waterdeep. That will definitely possibly be its own dungeon area. The castle. I mean, I could start building those together, or putting those together. But it's one thing at a time, so I just kind of want to stay focused on doing the one task at hand, which is filling in these areas that I have no idea. So this, I think, I'm not sure how this goes. This goes like that. Oh wait, that's a road, so this would go like that. So, they just released not long ago the patch for Baldur's Gate 3 for the Macintosh and consoles. I uploaded it, and now when I go to launch, it will not launch the game. So I need to figure out what's going on. Not that I've been playing it much, because I've been trying to do this other stuff. And it's easier for my computer to stream a game like Pool of Radiance versus Baldur's Gate, because I tried to do Baldur's Gate 3 and it would not. It was just terrible. So until I get a new computer, which I probably won't for some time, or maybe get a laptop, but I really don't need anything. Like, it would be nice to have a new computer, but I don't really need anything right now. This one seems to stream fine for the 3 hours, or whenever, however long, as long as I'm not overloading it with stuff like the music. It seems to do fine. Now we'll see after 3 hours. It's almost hitting, just about to hit the hour mark, and we'll see. My wife might be, assuming she's already done with her work. I think she started at 8 this morning, so I'm assuming her shift ended at 4. So I'm sure pretty soon, probably at 6, we'll be maybe heating up the pho for late lunch, basically dinner, but it's lunch because we will be having late dinner, I'm sure. Something major is going on right here. I Don't know what it is, but it is something. We'll find out. What kind of building is it? A structure? Is it one of the giant statues? I don't know yet. I think those are marked across the city. These could be. I know there's some around here, up here, in this area. Unless this map was a map prior to that happening. Yeah, again. I wonder if this is. Because, yeah, I'm not sure what year this map was taken from. Does it look like an older map? So it could have been from one of the earlier module or books or whatever. Or it could be newer. I'm not sure. I got it off the wiki page, the Forgotten Realms wiki page on Waterdeep. Which again is a great resource for this stuff if you're gaming, world building, if you're trying to inform yourself on the Forgotten Realms, especially this area, this city. There is certainly a lot of content that has come out for this world since it originally came out sometime in the 80s. Was it the early 80s? I can't remember. The creator was Ed Greenwood. Ed Greenwood. He has a channel where he does a lot of lore stuff, and it's on YouTube. He also has a Patreon, I guess. And he's always putting out more stuff in the world that he created, which is the Forgotten Realms. I know he sold it to TSR back in the day, but there was an agreement that he could continue to create stuff for the world. I think that was in the contract, so he did not lose his baby, or at least access to it. And they've created a lot of content over the years in this world. Yep, and like I said, the gold box games, Pool of Radiance, the one that I'm doing a gameplay of, was my introduction to the Forgotten Realms. And I think I may have read a bunch of books that TSR put out, various novels that they put out based in the world of the Forgotten Realms, but originally I got into I didn't really game, but I got into collecting some of the gaming material, even though I didn't get into actual tabletop role-playing. Yeah, once the computer games came out, I just kind of went that route, since I didn't really know a whole lot of people or associate with too many people until I got more into my teens and I was skateboarding, and by that time I was more focused on skateboarding and making art than I was these worlds. I think I read quite a few books. I started off, I was introduced to the whole D&D thing through Dragonlance, which they also had some gold box games, and which I played, and I'm assuming I beat them, but I don't remember any of it as a early teenager, early mid-teens. I mean, as soon as I got my job at 16 and I was making money and I could buy my own stuff, I was buying like second edition books, novels, the computer games. Yeah, I wasn't very good at saving any money. And skateboarding. That's where all my money went towards. I didn't care about school. I didn't care about girls. It was skateboarding and gaming, computer games, and art. Okay, so yeah, skateboarding pretty much took over everything, and I'm kind of glad it was fun. I enjoyed being outdoors. I got to learn the lay of my city. Minneapolis is where I grew up. And it got me out of the house. I started meeting other people through skateboarding. I'd say it kept me grounded in certain ways. I feel like I'm just gonna have to start making up this stuff right here. So it's hard to tell what's what. Okay, or just fill it all in. But I want to make sure I get most of these roads, so you get like kind of that city grid kind of thing going on. I think Waterdeep is supposed to be the largest city, at least on the Sword Coast, which is along this edge here. Baldur's Gate is also on the Sword Coast. You have Neverwinter, which is also on the Sword Coast. You have the 10 towns, which are kind of north of all that. I'm not sure if that's still considered the Sword Coast, but that's on that coastline. The city of Luskin. Not sure if you go south. I'm not sure if Athkatla is on the coast there. That's where the second Baldur's Gate game was set, was Athkatla. I started playing that one. I haven't beat it yet. It's been a while since I had played it. I think I started a relatively new playthrough, just offline, of the first Baldur's Gate. To kind of go in order, because then there's Dragonspire Keep or Dragonspire Castle, or one of those, which came much later after Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, but is supposed to be set between, as far as timeline, between Baldur's Gate 1 and Baldur's Gate 2. I think that one came out maybe later 2000s. And I made it through most of that, but I haven't completed it. And I think that's what got me starting everything over. Was I think I did something messed up, and also sometimes I'll leave gameplays sitting for too long, and then I forget what I was doing in that gameplay. So then it makes me basically just restart fresh, so I kind of understand what's going on as far as story. So as far as actual painting goes, I do have some more flowers to paint, since I have, right now I have the start of the series of flowers. They're all 8x8 squared canvases, and I have 12 of those completed, and I started another 12. If you go back into my VODs, you'll see some of the early live streams are those me working on those flowers, and that's kind of what got me back into wanting to live stream, was doing those. And then it just kind of evolved into when I had to work on the book, kids book, and I was doing that digitally, into live streaming me working on the spreads for the kids book, and sprinkled in with some painting. And then I was like, oh, I want to do some gaming streams. Not that, I mean, there's so much of that out there, it's not really that interesting, but as far as keeping up on some kind of learning process of live streaming, I figure whatever I'm streaming is helping me figure out more and more at a slow pace this whole kind of YouTube thing. And then I've been thinking about Twitch, but I don't know, that's going, which I wouldn't mind doing, but then all of a sudden you're more of a streamer than you are a creative. I mean, I guess streaming could be creative, but I feel like you spend a lot more of your time focused on streaming than doing the whatever it is, the artwork for. I mean, that's you creating the content for your streams. Because if you don't have stuff to stream, why even bother streaming? And I don't want to just be another, just here's some gaming streams, but if I can do stuff like this where I'm creating, kind of building the game, using my art making skills to create a game, and I'm not much of a not into Minecraft, so don't think all of a sudden I'm gonna start building stuff in Minecraft. This was pre-Minecraft. This is what I wanted to do back when I was a kid. I just didn't have the access and resources at that time. Sorry guys, that was my dryer letting me know it is finished. Keep forgetting to look at chat, but nobody's chatting, so but I gotta keep that in mind since I can't really see chat in OBS, or it's not update, it won't update chat in OBS, but yeah, I guess I got some. Was just hanging out, kind of keeping me company, or I was keeping you company. But yeah, I'll probably be back later on, you know, to keep working on this drawing. And I don't know, maybe I'll play around with the little dungeon making thing. I could do stuff like play with encounters, different more events. Since I got this layout, I can do stuff with it, even if it doesn't become something or a part of this. What I'm working on with this map, it's something I can use to test and learn about the different stuff in this program. But anyways, I'll talk to y'all later. Hope you all have a good day, evening, wherever you're at. And until next time, happy world building. Have a good day, guys. Bye.